Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The Crew Motorfest Season 4 starting tomorrow. They announced a bunch of cars, different ways of getting them. I made a little bit of a picture of it, sort of to give you an idea what it's coming. We have a bunch of cars coming tomorrow, July 3rd. The Audi RS6 will be in the shop for Street Tier 2, that is. We have an RS6 Avant Yanimize edition. It says Welcome Pack, so I am afraid it is going to be the Welcome Pack, the same as the Audi R8 Spider Motorfest edition. And what does that mean? It probably means that they put it in the shop in a Welcome Pack. You have to buy the $20 crew credit package, and then if you buy that $20 pack, then you can get a car with it. That's sort of what happened with the Audi R8 Spider Motorfest edition. It seems that they have created a new welcome pack, as they call it, so that's probably how you need to get that Yanimize edition. You're gonna have to probably buy the $20 crew credit package. We'll give you 220,000 crew credits, and on top of that you probably get a car. That's how the other welcome pack worked as well. We have two year one passes coming in, the Buick GNX and the Chevrolet Caprice. They are both Street Tier 1. And then you have some lowrider versions of those, which will be in the playlist. Donk versus lowriders is the playlist starting tomorrow. There will be another playlist by the looks of it in this season. Come to that in a second. Then there are also, these are the two lowriders. You also have two Donk cars, which is the Chevrolet Caprice custom version Donk, and we also have one under the Hoonigan brand, Chevrolet Caprice Donk version as well, under the Hoonigan brand. We have two collection imports only tomorrow as well. That is the Charger RT Mad Addiction. That is the Crew 2 car coming from one of the seasons, season 11 I think it is. The Mad Skills Volume 2, basically. That was what was season 11 was in the Crew 2. The reward car for that playlist is this Mad edition of the Charger. That's why it's a collection import only, because it's the Crew 2 exclusive, as they call that. The same goes for the Nissan 350Z Roadster Ultimate Edition. That was a recent Summit reward in the Crew 2. So that is sort of transferring. It was something that we collected throughout the previous season, and so we can transfer it now in July. July 31st, they will add the Mustang Dark Horse in the shop, and the Chevrolet Impala American Custom Edition will be in the Summit. That's for the July Summit. Now we have on August 7th, we have the second batch of collection import. Those are the three Jaguars, which was in a Jaguar pack bundle in the Crew 2. They will transfer. If you don't have them, you will be able to buy them in the shop. These are not the Crew 2 exclusive, so you can also get them in the shop in Motorfest in case you don't have the Crew 2. August 14, then we're in the next month, which will be the two final cars for the year 1 pass, the BMW M3 E30 and the Toyota 2000 GT. And there you have another playlist reward, which kind of suggests that we will get a second playlist. Seems to be something off-road, because the reward for that playlist is the Wrangler Adventure Edition. So that's probably Off-Road Addict Volume 2 or something. Seeing they usually run out of names, they're calling everything Volume 2 now. And the Mazda RX-7 Evo Group B will be available in the shop, which I find a bit strange, given the fact that that is the Crew 2 car. That it's in the shop, that's not strange, but why is it not a collection import? I have no idea. It's a Hobbies car from the Crew 2. The reward of that Hobbies, if you complete it, then you get the Mazda RX-7 Evo Group B. That could be a meta car, in such a way that it is meta completely OP in the Crew 2 ever since this thing came into the game. So this could be the new meta car in Rally, once they bring it, August 14, that is. And the August Summit is on August 21st. It's a Dodge Charger Tusk, some custom version of it, under the name of Ring Brothers. So they seem to come up with some tuner brands now. We have Ring Brothers, we have Hoonigan, there also will be a Liberty Walk and a KRC Japan. Those are custom made cars. Then there was also some Maserati bundle in the Crew 2 a while ago. That will be importable on September 4. The Maserati Ghibli and the Levante Trofeo. In case you don't have the Crew 2, no problem. Then you can buy it just in the shop. The same goes for the Liberty Walk McLaren 720S Spider. Available in the Crew 2. It will import in September. The September Summit is the Porsche Taycan Turbo S Thunder Edition. And the October Summit is the KRC Japan Nissan 240, a custom edition of the Nissan 240. That's for the October Summit. And then we are done with Season 4. July, August, September, October, and then in November, obviously, we will have Season 5, the new island, new playlist, Made in Japan Volume 2, things like that. That of course also means that we will have Grand races. And Grand races, they can go cross-platform, obviously. They can also go cross-island now. If they have brought a second island, then it is all possible. What I would like to see is also some changes here. Because we were driving a little bit yesterday and it is pretty boring. It is, you either have people that can't drive a car, that don't use brakes, they just show up with whatever. And then you have the meta sweaties. There are 700 cars in the game and they drive 15 cars, more or less. In Street Tier 1 there is a bit of variation. I played all evening yesterday with all kind of different cars. And in this case, we're gonna select, let's say, 3 decent cars. They're not meta, but the RS3 is pretty good in Street Tier 1. But the rest is not meta, right? But you just take some decent cars, you can easily win here and there. The worst part is racing, for instance. If you go in racing, you have 28 people there. There are 15 driving the Gordon Murray. There are 88 or whatever it is racing cars in the game. Everybody's using the Gordon Murray. With Season 5 upcoming and the new island, I would like to see some changes. It's ever since available in the game, in the Crew 1, the Crew 2. They have all these categories, hot hatches, sports cars, supercars. They don't do anything with it except for, from time to time, put it in a summit. Do some restrictions. They could also do these restrictions in a grand race, right? You could, for instance, say like, hey, it's Grand Race, Street Tier 1, you can only use hot hatches. Then you can show up with the Audi RS3, you can show up with the Volkswagen Golf, you can show up with the Renault Megane. It is all very possible. If it's more a classic car or whatever. Now we have this mix of cars, that is all fine. The only problem is you have meta cars and that becomes quickly very boring. So what I would like to see is that they finally gonna start using these different categories that they have there. They are also in this game, there are even filters for it. You could, for instance, do a rally raid where people can only use bikes and then create here or there a track for it, something like that. That is all very possible. There are options available. Letting you use all the cars results in people using 15 cars all day long, and that's it. They don't drive anything else. So you need to bring some variation in that. And they have the options available, right? It's like... Other than that, that bullshit with the green parts, fair PvP, that is all fine in the beginning of a game, but when you're 8-9 months into the game, people have been grinding for yellow cars. Just let us use these yellow parts. Which also, some cars have really strong NOS that might actually create a new meta overall. Because now people are using cars which are the best with green parts, basically. That's how you need to look at this. If you want to test car for Grand Race, you need to drive with 7 green parts. I see people doing guides from this thing, and then they're testing them with yellow parts, and then they go see how these cars are in the Grand Race. But in the Grand Race, you only drive with green parts. Some cars have really strong NOS. If you have a yellow nitro chemist set with pure and extra pump, or frenetic or whatever, that's going to make a huge difference if those vehicles have really strong NOS. And the green parts, they call it fair PvP. There's nothing fair about it. We all know that. You have some people, myself here, I'm driving with keyboard and automatic gearbox at the moment when I was recording this. But you have some people, I was just lucky here that there was nobody in the lobby which is using the stupid macro shifting, because then I would have been toast. I would not even be on the picture, maybe not even finish. The slipstream is still way too strong for no reason. This time I get away with it, although there's some guy in the middle part. We go to the highway and there I am. I'm leading the pack here, but there are people behind me slipstreaming. They're catching up. Slipstream is way too strong. Luckily for me, there he is. You can see him show up on the minimap. He will come very close, but then he makes a mistake, if I'm not mistaken. So, but you get the idea. It's like, if you have like tracks with this, like long 4-lane roads or highways in some of the tracks. If you have some people up there who know what we're doing, yeah, then you get this scenario, right? I started in the Audi RS3 in Street Tier 1, that guy in the Stratos, also a pretty good car in Street Tier 1. So me and him were slipstreaming a little bit in the city and we got away from the pack, and we are still here now with the two of us. I'm just driving here, he's following me, I don't know what he's driving, but he can't come over, so but he's just following me in my slipstream, so. And you have the shifty perk, which is into play in a way, that is a slipstream, but you also have the drag bump, which is the opposite of slipstream, so also the guy behind me he's giving the effect from the slipstream, from the shifty, and I have the effect from the drag butt, which means that if you are the leading car, you also get slipstream. It's like a reverse slipstream in a way. So both of us have slipstream. You can see here on the minimap, there he goes. He misses a corner there. That's where I lost him. But you get the idea. We are so far away from the pack now that it's not even funny. I think at the end there are only like 10 people who finish this race. The slipstream is too strong. We need different categories into the play here. And then, especially with the new island coming, 350 kilometers of roads, about 200 kilometers of them are dirt roads. That's the other thing, of course. Make sure you have some decent disciplines on specific tracks. The other day we had the stupid river track. Why is that river track still in there? Nobody likes it. Everybody's complaining about it. And then they let you drive through there with a rally car, with a rally raid. Rally raid is off-road, I can understand. But the rally cars on this map is brutal. It's like there are 3 dirt roads on the whole map. Occasionally you go on those in Grand Race, but very often you are plowing through a field with a rally car, which should be rally raid. So hopefully that improves with the new island, seeing more than half of it will be dirt. So I'm assuming we're going to have some decent rally tracks over there, which are actually supposed to drive that on a dirt road. That's what the rally cars are for. It's either dirt or asphalt, not plowing through a field. They have changed a few things here and there in the layout nowadays, but it's not being better. Was one of these races yesterday. I'm plowing over a beach with a Street Tier 2 car. Everybody's doing 180, 220 kilometers an hour, something like that, because that's what the thing limits on. Why? I mean, why Ivory Tower? Why are we driving Street Tier 2 cars over the beach? Or there is also some other track where it's actually a pretty decent rally track, dirt roads, and they give us a Street Tier 2 car. And the worst part of that is that the track itself is not used in rally. In the rally lobbies, you will never see that track. You only see it in Street Tier 2. We have 14 disciplines in the game. We have 700 cars in the game. Just make some proper tracks for the right discipline and let us filter it on the lobby. Something like, you know, the hot hatches, the sports cars, the supercars, the pickups, the bikes, whatever. You have all these categories, use them in Grand Race. would make it way more interested. People would drive different bikes and cars and whatnot. Now we have 700 cars in the game and people are driving 15 vehicles every day. The racing is the worst of all. Everybody in the Gordon Murray, while there are 88 cars that you can use. And then of course, if you have been playing for 3 hours or whatever, then you have all these disciplines to go through to select your parts, delete all these green and blue and purple parts, while we have full maxed out yellow sets. Just get that parts system out of there, give us a shop where we can just buy the parts that we want. People making bucks left and right. I'm sitting on 55 million here. I'm not even on the maximum. And this is legit gameplay, eh? There is no script or anything involved like all those idiots every month in the main stage. They are, of course, they have maximum bucks because they are cheesing the game so hard that they have maximum bucks for months now. But even I didn't even play that much. Even I am sitting on 55 million and I have every car in the game. So it's not like we don't have the money, right? We can buy parts if we can just go to some sort of shop and then get it over with, you know. Meanwhile, we're watching some ads on my own video here. Great stuff. Let's kick that off. There we go. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see some changes, potentially. Meanwhile, I am working on a Google Doc where we are testing hard. I will put it in the description for those interested. I've tested the motocross so far, the monster trucks we did the other day as well, Alpha GP, Demolition Derby, the drags, the power boats and the planes. I've tested them on racetrack skill tests, tested top speed, things like that. Giving you my findings about them. Obviously I'm driving here most of the tests with the keyboard and automatic gearbox, sometimes with the wheel and normal manual shifting, no clutch. So if you have some of these cars, like for instance here in the drag, I don't know what's going on with that drag. The Proto Hub one in the drag event itself, it's the worst of all. If you have a summit in and there is a speed trap, that car is always on top. I don't know why. I've done a test on the speed trap, just driving solo, starting in third gear, shifting up and boost. The thing does 633 kilometers an hour. There are many which can do around 640. So there's gotta be something with this car that I don't know about. Is it bugged? Is it give it an extra boost from the macro clutch shifters or whatever? I don't know. Clutch bug or something. Because if there is a summit, you always see this thing on top and I don't know why. There are about 8 cars which are faster on a speed trap. If you do it solo, and in the drag event it's the worst of the whole lot of 11 or 12 dragsters that we have. So why people are always using that, that's gotta have something to do with the clutch shifters. That gives that an extra boost or something, I don't know. So yeah, these are tests, as I said, done with keyboard, automatic gearbox. Of course, in case of drag or drift, I switched to sequential gearbox also with the keyboard. Some of the tests might be done with the wheel, I don't know yet. Next up will be the rally, but yeah, it's going to increase now, so it's going to take a bit more time, the other disciplines. But the idea is, by the time the new season starts in November, that I have done every car. I already put in all the cars, included the new cars for this season. So I think we have about 32, 33 vehicles in rally. There are 33, but obviously we can't test the Mazda RX-7 Turbo because that thing only shows up somewhere in August or September or whatever it is, collection import. But I can test the other 32, so that will be next up. And then we have to go rally rate 62, racing 88, hypercars 98, street tier 1 134, and street tier 2 194. That's a lot of cars that we need to test. But we're working on it. So so far we have done somewhere half of the disciplines. I'll put a link in the description of this video. So yeah, they announced the new cars for Season 4. We know Season 5 is coming. We took a quick look on the Grand Race. I would like to see some changes there, because it's pretty boring out there with all these meta sweaties. And while they have all these disciplines in the game, they never use them, except for from time to time in the summit, where they, for instance, say like, hey, you have to use Japanese cars this week. Or you have to use the Japanese JDM or Nissan or whatever. In that way, you have these brands, but the categories can also be used in Grand Race. Why not? Just make a lobby with Street Tier 1 hot heads and Street Tier 2 sports cars, and then you are limited in your choices for that race, only for that race. And then the next lobby can be something Street Tier 2 again, but then you take the supercars or something. That would bring way more variation and way more fun than this boring 700 cars in the game and everybody drives the same 15 cars race after race. If you do a Grand Race for a couple of hours and you constantly run into these sweaty boys, it's pretty boring. Some might get excited about it, I totally do not. Just use the categories. Especially with things coming up. We're gonna go obviously cross island. Apparently the two islands will be connected by a bridge. So we can go there by car. We have the boats, we have the planes, we can cross there. So there are definitely ways of getting to the other island. So we're obviously going to have Grand Race there as well. Especially the rally should start there, seeing it more than half the island is dirt road. But for God's sake, don't give us a Street Tier 2 on these dirt cars. I mean, we have rally cars, we have motocross bikes, we have rally raid bikes and cars, we have monster trucks. All of those things can go on a dirt road, but leave out these street race and hypercars and whatnot. Or don't let us mess with those on a dirt road. Nobody likes it. The river track on the main island, get rid of that thing. Nobody likes that stupid thing where you drive in the river for like more than half the race. That is just, nobody likes it. Get your act together, Ivory Tower, Ubisoft. That's what I have to say about that. You need to fine-tune. The beginning, the first year, they were surprised by the success of the Grand Race. They didn't expect so many people to like it and play it that much. But they have been looking at that shit for a year now. You would think that hopefully we can see some big improvements in the Grand Race / PvP for the second season, or the second year, I should say. And hopefully they don't focus too much on the police squads. Nobody's waiting on that. Yeah, Need for Speed players maybe, but not the crew players. We are not super excited about the police squads chase or whatever it's called. It's just a repeat of the chase from the crew 2, which they updated a little bit. Luckily they kept it in PvE mode so that we don't have to worry about ramming kids in police cars, but you get the idea. Because that's going to be some sort of next to the Grand Race and Demolition Royale. I think it's sort of replacing the Demolition Royale, because who on earth is playing that? I don't know, not many people, that's for sure. So that police squad thing is probably going to replace the Demolition Royale, or will be some sort of mode next to it, a third mode next to the Grand Race and Demolition Royale. You will have the police squad, the chase squad, whatever they call it. Anyway, that will be it for this video. A quick overview of all the new cars which are coming this season, and we also talked a little bit about the Grand Race, which some changes I would like to see towards the next season when the new island comes in. Just give us more variation in Grand Race. Grand Race itself is fine, but it becomes boring very quickly once you know all the tracks, and it's always people using the same cars. You can easily, by using some filters in your lobbies, you can easily change that up so that people are driving different cars. You have the categories in your game, you have it since Crew 1. Use them, just like you do in the Summit. Also in Grand Race, use those categories. Sports cars, supercars, hot hatch, utility, bikes, whatever. You have 10, 12 different filters. Classic cars, modern cars, you have so many options that you can work with. Hopefully they do something with it, we'll see. As for now, that will be it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.